Now it's free to sell on eBay.
Toothless. I could have sworn that. Toothless? Bastard, Toothless. The Night Fury.
Stop the fight!
No! You all need to see this!
Welcome back to week number 23, and we started off with How to Train Your Dragon. Now, not the original, the live action one that came out, and I'm going to put my hands up and say, like Lilo and Stitch, never seen the animated one before, but went to cinema to see the live action, and I'm going to say, I thought it was good. Now, obviously, I have to go based off the story from this film, and not, like, I can't compare it to the animated one, and I thought it was good. It was a good story. I thought they adapted what probably is the story of the animated one very well. I think there was a solid cast. But I've seen pictures of the characters of the animated one, and I think that they have adapted these characters well into the live action, and the CGI for the dragons and stuff, for once, is good. We have good CGI, which is great news. I think the dynamics of the characters work well, and this could be me complimenting the source material being the animated one, but from how the film did it, I thought the characters were very human, and the development between them and the relationships worked well, especially with what's-his-face and his father. And I really like the development between the dragons as well, the dynamic. Obviously got Toothless and the discovery of him, and who befriends a dragon and kind of breaks into the mold and kind of breaks the mold of being enemies against the dragons, and I thought it was done well, and I enjoyed the film, so I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.
You down hard?
Nope.
You got that last club, don't you?
Yep. And it's locked.
Look for the fuse box.
The hell was that?
What was what?
Morgan, he's behind you!
Oh my god, he's behind you! He's behind us!
He's right behind you! Hey, Morgan, he's right behind you!
And why? Because I wasn't black enough?
It was mainly just the Trump thing.
The Blackening is a very funny, very quirky and silly idea that's done well, because it's based off the stereotype in the horror industry and film that the black character always gets killed off first. But one example I can think of is, let's say, Scream 2. Starts off, the first two people get killed. We see, aha, black. That is an instance of this stereotype that is come to fester into something in the horror industry, and it's good. For the record, it's great we break out to that, because I don't think that's a stereotype the horror industry needs. But this film, it takes that stereotype, that idea, that entire established stereotype of the industry, and gives us an almost entire black cast for a horror film. And I love they've taken that idea and have reclaimed it, basically, and they've given an entire black cast their own horror film, and I thought that was done really well. And this basically, the idea is, like, can't all die first, so it's done really well. On the surface level, it's just another generic horror film where there's a psycho killer and there's a group of people in a cabin in the woods. But the fact is, the underlying tone that they've reclaimed this black people always die first, and they've turned it into their own thing. I want to appreciate the film for that, because it was done really well. And I give her a 6.5 out of 10, because a lot of that is for the genius idea of reclaiming it. But ignoring all that and looking at just the horror slasher level, I think it could have been better.
Knives out, get your knives out. This is...
I'm gonna give you an emergency shot of naloxone so you don't die in 10 minutes.
Oh, well, no pressure.
Oh my god. I don't know
what to say. We're his family,
God, you're not much of a detective, are you?
Well, to be fair, you make a pretty lousy murderer.
I think I've established enough. I love a good murder mystery, and Knives Out plays exactly into that interest of mine. So you basically know I'm gonna love her already, but let me explain why. Alright, I'm gonna do a little takeover here from you, Max, because I want to improve on what I said about this film, actually, so let's get right into it. Knives Out is a murder mystery that takes such a large cast of characters and gives them all so much development and gives them so much motive that it all falls into place fantastically well. Now, this film follows a family where a death happens overnight and they're all suspects, but it basically reveals the killer to us from the start. Yet, it manages to attain so much plot twists within, which not only is landing one plot twist in such a film hard to do, making it stick, but Knives Out manages to take about 2, 3, even 4 different twists in the story and makes them all land perfectly, keeping the story fresh and us on our toes. The way the mystery unfolds and we get to see the motives of each family member and why they would be a potential suspect in killing the grandfather, yet again, despite us knowing who actually killed the grandfather, makes the film so interesting, and the acting and the characters are so great in this film, and story-wise and how this story fits together is perfectly. It's like a jigsaw that's all at the very end pieced together perfectly with a bunch of different twists and turns that keeps it so fresh and exciting. And I love this film to pieces, and that's why I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10, because you cannot beat such a fantastic murder mystery. Squid Game. That's again, Knives Out. Yeah, you thought I was watching Squid Game. That's at the end of this week. I love you now.
Let's be honest. Boobs are fun. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, right, babe?
I love my boobs. They're so much fun. Oops. Sorry, feminist.
Sorry, feminist.
Wait, hold on. What just happened?
Blanc, I saw you go in the engine room.
Now, Glass Onion is the sequel to Knives Out, and again we follow Daniel Craig, the private investigator. And whoa, let me stop you right there again, Max, because again I want to touch up on what I said before. This sequel to Knives Out is fantastic because not only does it bring back the I'll call protagonist, Daniel Craig, and we get to see him yet again thrown into a murder mystery, but it completely changes up the format where it brings us from, like, I don't know, a manor with a family discourse to this isolated island with a bunch of different guests, which not only cuts them off from the outside world and leaves them stranded to figure out this murder mystery, but this new setting with new characters, with new motives, creates a fresh formula for this film, and it works incredibly well with how all the different characters know each other and how they all fit into place, and the history that, yet again, just like the family in the first film, they all have a motive to kill. And what I like about this one is how Daniel Craig is the oddball, and he wasn't supposed to be invited, but he was. Yet again, the way the story unfolds and we see all these characters crack and how we get to see more of their past and how it all builds up to that moment, it works fantastically well. And watching the case unfold and seeing it all come together is really satisfying, and the film does it fantastically. Yet again, it does plot twists and has the plot twists land perfectly. I've got to credit the film where it deserves to be credited. So yet again, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 because these films really are great for its murder mystery storytelling.
The Wonderful World of Henry Sugar, played by Benedict Cumberbatch.
Finally, the great yogi came out of his hut and sat cross-legged on the mat. Each movement he made was calm and gentle.
Well. Now that is extremely interesting. This is a terrific piece of information.
Now, please call him plain Mr. Henry Sugar. And that is what I have done.
Now, was this a wonderful story of Henry Sugar? I have to say that it might be to a particular taste. I say that because we follow Benedict Cumberbatch, who plays Henry Sugar, who is addicted or fascinated by gambling, and in doing so, he discovers this person with these somewhat psychic abilities, and he's so fascinated. He goes about learning them for himself, which obviously aids in his gambling, and he becomes very wealthy, and he puts his money to a good cause. Now, the film is filmed in sort of a simple, simplistic story-told way where we directly have a narrator telling the viewer what's happening at all times. It's quite a unique film. It's a short film as well. It's very unique, and like I said, it's to a very specific taste. Now, I don't think it's bad, but I need a bit more story and a bit more, dare I say, action to the film. So I will give her 6.5 out of 10, and that reflects how it's a good film and it was done well. But for me, my personal tastes, I think it just needs a bit something else, you know?
Beauty. And there's a clock and a candlestick. Oh, and there's the beast as well. That's my beauties right here.
Wonderful book you have there.
Have you read it?
Well, not that one, but you know.
And I will escape, I promise.
As the dining room proudly presents...
I think there's a recurring theme with the fact that I haven't watched the animated Beauty and the Beast, but now I've watched the live-action Beauty and the Beast. I should probably watch a lot of these animated films first, but I thought Beauty and the Beast, the live-action one, was good. First of all, I love the casting of Emma Watson. She plays, is it Belle really well? Plays Belle really well. I hope that's the right princess. There's about 500 Disney princesses. And the story, I think, obviously, I think everyone knows the story of Beauty and the Beast, and obviously it was adapted well, I'd say. Yet again, we have good CGI for a live action, with a bunch of live action talking clocks and candles and whatnot. I think it was done well, and the Beast as well was adapted well. I'm just complimenting the CGI at this point. But also the story was adapted well. Obviously, we got the Beast, who used to be a prince and was cursed to become a beast, and then Belle gets trapped in the castle, and then obviously the final act, Gaston and his riot come storm the castle and try and fight the beast. And I think all that was done well in a live action format, and it was no dishonour to the original film. So for that, and again the songs in it as well were quite catchy. And considering I haven't watched the animated one, I thought it is good enough that it makes me kind of, you know, question, oh, should I watch the animated one? And from that, I might actually do it. So I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.
Oh yeah, bloody man up, yeah. I'm sorry, that is...
Blimey, I'm not that late, am I? Sorry. Somebody threw themselves on the track again. I don't blame them. There's so many delays. Hey, what a great way for us to recognise each other. What a great idea.
So where's this chap now?
He's at the window.
I don't think any of you noticed I put the light on in the last one, so yeah, man up. Because that's what I just watched. And Simon Pegg love film.
Right, it's me again, because apparently I was really off my game giving a review of these films this week. So, basically it's a love film where basically this girl hijacks a blind date and goes out with the guy, Simon Pegg, and they hit it off really well. And obviously then when the truth is discovered, then things start to get a bit rocky. The moral is then that Simon Pegg realizes that despite the fact that she lied to him, that they were perfect together. And that really builds on their relationship in the film. It's quite beautiful when they both realize that they really did love each other, and it was literally love at first sight. It's such a creative way of bringing these two characters together as well, and like any other love film, well, I've seen at least, I can't say I'm too expertise on love films. I'm not even an expertise on love in real life, never mind fiction. But yeah, the way these two characters met and how they bond and their relationship grows in just the day they knew each other. And that's when it leads to the final act, when that realization hits, and then they both reunite at the end and confess their feelings. It's really a beautiful payoff for both of the characters, and it worked really well. And overall, the story of the film was good, and it had its funny and charming parts as well. I will give it a 7.5 out of 10, because, yeah, I thought it was quite good.
What's ironic about the film Companion is that I always watch these films alone.
And you're staring at this stranger, this person you've never met before, and...
Yeah, she's tied up inside, so she's not going anywhere. Mm-hmm.
Eli, Shh, baby, alle Farben.
Aber meine Spracheinstellung ist zurzeit auf Deutsch eingestellt, weil ich nicht lügen kann.
Jack Quaid's Companion is a robot because Companion is a film about this world where people can buy robots who are basically like your partner, your boyfriend, girlfriend, wherever, and they don't know they are robots, and everything's fine. Jack Quaid and his robot girlfriend are all good in the hood until she discovers that she is a robot after killing someone in self-defense, and she gets powered off, and she was going to be factory reset and returned out of her own self-preservation. She fights back and tries to escape, but she obviously wouldn't cause harm to Jack Quaid's character because she loves him. And it's really a story about how she does love, and she does believe her love is real for Jack Quaid, but obviously he's there trying to power her down, factory reset, return her because she's technically like malfunctioning or she's breaking out of her code. It's a really interesting film to follow. It's such a quirky idea, and the characters do have great development throughout, and the dialogue they have, it's all well written and well put together, and the pacing is great, and the story was really fascinating and interesting. There are twists in the film that make you go like, wow, and I thought it was done really well, so I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.
Squid Game Season 3 comes out this Friday. It is Monday today, and that means one thing. Were you rewatching Season 1 or 2?
One, two, three!
Sangwoo? Where are you?
I want to end here. You know, this is just like my dad.
Played these games before!
They're everywhere you look, aren't they?
Yeah, I've heard. Apparently it attracts some really beautiful people.
Witness the consequences of your little game.
It's time for Season 3. I'm about to watch all 6 episodes in one sitting.
Take the knife and stab me now.
This is just
Then
wrong.
you'll go through. And Junie and her girl will live too.
That isn't you.
You're a good
67.
We are not horses. We are humans.
Squid Game is what I've been waiting to talk about. This is the main course of this episode because, oh my god, I love Squid Game so much. Now, last December, I watched Squid Game and I was going to make a video on it. I rewatched Season 1 and then I watched Season 2, and oh my god, I fell back in love with the show.
Now, I could just sit here and let my past self ramble on for an entire 10 more minutes about why Squid Game is so good. But I'm actually going to cut myself off and I'm going to redo this and try and summarize a 10-minute speech into like 4 minutes. Because Squid Game is a brilliant TV show that that touches on the themes and explores the themes of extreme social inequality and the poverty and the corrupting influence of capitalism and greed in areas such as the North and South of Korea. They take these positions of poverty and they turn it into such a fantastic show that reflects these real world issues by putting it into a TV show that makes you think, and it presents these problems, these real world problems, through an incredible story, an incredibly exciting story that you can relate to the characters, because you've got characters like Gi-hoon and you've got the players inside the games, all of which are people like us, and you see them battling and fighting each other, playing these games for money, and it makes you realize that we rely a lot on money, and that when we don't have it, you were basically willing to put your life on the line to be able to live comfortably, and that's what these people are doing. It's a brilliant presentation on how the higher class people in this world, they get to sit back and they get to watch the rest of us work and fight our way to live in a comfortable life, and especially in countries like the North and South of Korea, which do live in extreme poverty. Now, within the games, there are so many phenomenal characters that you absolutely come to love and adore. There are so many brilliant and beautiful characters. Like, take season 1, how you've got the likes of Sae-byuk, you've got Sang-woo, you've got Ali, all of which are beautiful characters that throughout the season we get attached to. But you know that by the end, only one of them will make it out alive, and with each death, it only gets harder and harder. The Squid Game manages to capture our hearts in these characters, and we fall in love with them on screen so much. And the same can be said for season 2 with players like player 120, and you got the mother and son, and you've even got the pregnant lady, player 222, all of which have an incredibly unique dynamic, and you don't want any of them to die, and you absolutely get hit with an emotional slap across the face when these characters meet their end. I adored how season 1 focused on keeping the behind the scenes of the game, so the guards and the VIP is really vague and we barely see anything behind the scenes apart from the detective who sneaks onto the island. But he only scratches the surface, which leads then into season 2, which we explore more. So when we have season 1, where it introduces us to these games and how things are run, and we see it from the perspective of the players, season 2 really does split that perspective between the players and behind the scenes with different guards. And while on the topic of incredible storytelling, you have Gi-hoon and you have the frontman, two characters of which are the complete polar opposites and present the two different sides of the spectrum when it comes to the themes of the season. You got Gi-hoon, who won season 1 and then sacrificed his happy life and his chance to become a great dad like he wanted to be to his daughter by going out to America to be with her. He sacrificed that life to go back into the games and put an end and to show the people running it that humans are more than just horses to bet on. And that's what his final words represent. Gi-hoon represents the good in humanity. He represents the faith in humanity, while the frontman saw the opposite. The games are absolutely incredible. Each and every one is exciting. And then you've got the ending, which overall I would say is unsatisfying, but also brilliant at the same time, because I love how Squid Game is really realistic in the way it approaches such a crazy and obviously fictional scenario where you've got these death games where people in poverty have to fight for money. In the end, the frontman and the VIPs got away, and that is really unsatisfying for us and for the players. And Gi-hoon, obviously, spoiler alert, sacrifices himself for the baby. And yes, that is again really unsatisfying. But it's realistic because there was no world in which Gi-hoon was going to go back on his morals and sacrifice the baby for his own life. That goes against Gi-hoon's entire character, and that would have broken what he had been fighting for since the start. And even at the end, when he's gone, we actually see that his efforts weren't in vain, as we see Sae-byuk's mother finally getting brought over from the north. All thanks to Gi-hoon's efforts and the money he put into getting Sae-byuk's mother over from the north to be back with her brother. And then we see the frontman deliver his belongings to his daughter in America, which was an emotional gut punch because his daughter thinks that he abandoned her, but little does she know that he gave all that up, and to try and put an end to these games and show that humans are worth saving and the humans are worth more than just being betted on. Squid Game is a beautiful story with each and every individual character contributing to how beautiful the show develops and how emotionally attached we are. And it really does play on the topics of the real world, and that's what makes it so brilliant. I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10, and I don't care what other people say. I don't care how other people think it's unsatisfying. Squid Game really is a beautiful show, and it's one of a kind. The show connected me to the characters. It made me laugh, it made me cry. And I've got the show to thank for that, and I enjoyed every second of the story, and I look forward to rewatching her again when the American Squid Game comes out. And I'm hoping that spin-off not only does what we have already justice, but it also expands and makes the story even more incredible.
And there we have it, folk. And that's the end of week number 23, or Squid Game week, really, because this is... all the films were good this week, but the Squid Game was the main meal. God, I want to watch it again, but I know when I watch it, when I watch TikTok edits, it makes me cry, because it's just so powerful of a show. Alright, enough of Squid Game. Thanks very much for watching. Definitely recommend checking out Squid Game, though, if you haven't watched it already. I look forward to seeing you in week number 24, where we'll watch a bunch of more good films and arguably some more good shows. So yeah, I'll see you next time. Thanks very much, and I'll see you in round 2. I don't know, I tried looking cool or something. I don't know, shut up.